ran the farmers market for like 18 years, and I was his official bartender. And every time our band played, he'll be like, "I'll be a roadie, no charges, just give me all the beers." It's okay, no problem. And then he comes and supporting everything. Then he helped me so many times, like carrying my amplifiers, where people will be like, "Oh, I'm too busy." He'll be like, "I'll do it for you. I'll play the roadie." And then like 2 weeks ago, he called me, and I was just shocked that what he told me, like, this thing happened. I'm like, "You can die, no way," because you have such a good spirit. Then I spoke to him like in last week, and he has such a strong mentality that he goes, "I am good, just come see me, we'll watch a movie and hang out, and then we'll do all the good things." And then I have to say that he was such a good person, and we all loved him in the farmers market. He was just like full of joy, and he loved everybody loved him, and he's like a one amazing person in my life I met. And God bless him, R.I.P. Thank you so much.
I just found out that the donor program has accepted Lewis's corneas.
I knew it.
So I'd like to celebrate that. But
Those
I'd
blue
also
eyes.
like to say, with this gift, as you're walking through life, if you look in somebody's eyes, they look a little familiar.
You've got
That could be
the
Lewis.
most wonderful
So treat them as he would treat you,
You've
and
got
the world will be such a better
the
place.
most wonderful blue eyes. Come on, everybody, I love you. We and SB did joke that he was a donor. I'm filming myself. And we were like, well, he had this cancer pretty much all over the place. He had a blood clot here, a heart disease that. What are they going to use? His eyes? I'm like, yeah, his eyes, that's about it. And sure enough, those beautiful blue eyes. All right.
Come on, sing
No.
some more.
Come on, you sing.
Go, you sing. You sing better than I do.
That doesn't say much.
Hey everybody, I knew Louis for about 10 years.
Lucky Louie.
And the great thing, you try and think of stories of him, and I can't think of any specific stories, though we had a lot of good times. But he was so unpretentious, he had a big heart, and anybody ever seen him, when he didn't suffer fools lightly. So if someone's at the bar doing something, anybody ever heard this? Yeah, sure. Louis was a great guy, we're going to miss him, and that's all I have to say.
Hey everybody, I'm Ray.
Hey, Ray.
I've known Louis. I knew Louis. I was a little kid. I think I can't remember how old I was. Anyway, my mom and his parents were old friends, and
See you back in the hood.
so I kind of grew up around the Camps and the Arquettes and the Gleasons. And anyway, I was listening to everybody, and I had a story or some experience that I had with, God, I'm sorry. So weird. Anyway, I had a couple really rough days at Mid-City, and this is what came up for me. I remember that Louis was there for me. He helped me through some really hard. I got in a fight with somebody, and I got my ass kicked really bad, and I was all tore up and missed my bus, and it was just bad. And Louis was the one who was there. He missed his bus on purpose and waited to take the RTD and got me home. And I was, he was that kind of guy. He would be there for you if you were really in need. Kind of like the story that Danny told about the Camps. There's a couple things about Louis that Louis could drive the shit out of a car. I don't know if anybody knew that. But this guy, he was a fantastic driver. And I always remember being a kid and driving it with him and having the best time. Because he would take corners, and he knew how to apex, and he knew how to shift, and he was just like fantastic. Yeah, man, that guy could drive. Anyway, I don't know what it was about Louis, but he was a comedian, really. But so spontaneous. He would make me laugh like nobody else. He would run around Mid-City and make all the kids laugh. and he had a great voice. You know, there was Hamid, who was just like this big monolithic figure music-wise in their family. But Louis had this special voice, and it was very resonant and beautiful. And he could play and sing at the same time, which I'm so envious because I can't do it.
Neither can
But
I.
you know, in just a fantastic way. And I think back about Louis, and I think he was so talented in so many ways, and I think that he kind of was down on himself a lot. You know, I don't know if I should be saying all this, but he had so many gifts, but I think that he was so kind of self-conscious about his height and certain other things that we do to ourselves. And I think that he did that. Anyway, I love him, man. He made me laugh, and he was so great and special, and I'm gonna miss him a lot.
Here's the music.
By the way, Ray, I taught him how to drive. It's true. I had a 1960s Corvair. If anybody knows cars, they're a bit heavy in the back. And Louis and I were driving, and he was learning how to drive, but I was driving at this point, and I turned to him and I said, do you know how to get out of an emergency situation if you get into a power slide? And he says, no. And I went, watch. And I turned the car into a power spin. I remember looking over at him as we're spinning down the street in this giant puddle, with this grin on his face, you know, and fear in his eyes at the same time. And okay, so you compensate like this, and then you go back, and then when it goes the other way, and you did, and he's like, and he's like, that was great. That was so cool. That was that was one of our good car stories. The other one was he had his. Anybody remember his orange Honda that he had for years?
And I got in the accident
We're
right
driving.
there.
Yeah, I think we're on over
He
Rosewood
left the
or
house.
something like that, and we're crossing Normandy, and this car runs the red light, boom, hits us. We go over on his side. I'm laying on top of him, and we get out and we climb out and we push the car back on its wheels, and and these guys are like panicked, and and they end up driving away. And this woman walks up, and this is Lou's luck. This woman walks up and she says, here's my card. I'm a Superior Court judge. I saw the whole thing, and I'd be glad to be your witness. Anybody else? Shall I turn the music on for a little bit? You can talk amongst yourselves, and then this is Fedgwick. He's running the soundboard. He will turn the music down and turn your mic up if you want to share the any more stories. And otherwise,
Any oh yeah moments?
What?
If anyone has an oh yeah moment.
An oh yeah moment, like I remember with Jay's story. I remember, or with I remember my story anyway.
I wish we had a long mic cable. Wireless mic.
One last thing I want to share with everybody. Everybody that's here, think about this. Take this to your heart and put it in your back pocket. Just take it with you when you leave here. Everybody that knew Louis has a bit of Louis inside of you. Louis will never die as long as we all keep that spirit alive in each of us. Everything that we learn from Louis, let's practice that every day and keep Louis alive in all of us. That way he will never die, and we never have to miss him. He'll be right here.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Back up there, Mr. Green, little Louis, brother.